show you how resilience shows up as the ABCs. ABCs are very simple. 6 areas of resilience. All resilience will boil down to these areas. And by the way, I can take these exact same principles and apply them to a workplace. Physical attitude. If people are working through their lunch at their desk, they are not going to be resilient when it hits the fan, because that practice doesn't work. Let me illustrate. Learn, and I am not advocating taking up smoking. Do not misinterpret me. But you know, we have to learn 3 things from smokers. Number 1, they take a break. Number 2,
breathe deeply.
Breathe deeply. They're killing themselves, but it's deep breathing. And number 3, social support. They're not outside with people who hate smokers. Guess what, folks? For you and I, some of those physical principles. Emotional. How do you show your emotions? You know, I mentioned to you my model growing up. Show no weakness. Big boys don't cry. Big girls don't cry. Whatever works for you. But you know what? If you got a pulse, you're probably going to have emotions. How do you process them? One of the things they're proving in this, double-clicking on the emotion, is delayed gratification is vital for resilience. I want you to think about that with some young people's training model. We are actually training them not to be resilient because there's no work for anything. Delayed gratification. Beliefs. Don't go religious on me. I am not talking about religion. I am talking about beliefs. Atheists believe there is no God. Christians believe in Christ. Hindus believe in Shiva, Vishnu, Krishna. Buddhists believe in Gautama. If you are my supervisor and I believe you're out to get me, I'm a believer. We all have our belief systems, and what happens in that is they corrupt the operating system. Added to that, cognitive thinking. Watch what happens. If you want to see this, my grandma's expression was garbage in, garbage out. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are the inputs that challenge the way we operate or think? I don't know what you guys like, but I hear the name Trump. And I actually want to just grab the remote and change the channel. That kind of input for me, it's like, really? You're a leader of a country. What are you doing cognitively to challenge yourself to grow forward? Because the people who are not addressing those thinking, when they're going through stressors, they have nothing to go back to. And the thing that happens is we end up on what's called the emotional toilet bowl flush. We start to feel a certain way, then we start to behave a certain way, and then we start to think a certain way based on our emotions. And if you want to, how many of you have ever seen the movie Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy? Do you guys remember the gerbil or hamster? When the toilet bowl does the whoosh, the hamster or gerbil, whatever it is, comes out of the toilet and says, I feel so violated. And what happens to us is when we get caught by our emotions, our thinking starts to follow that. And all of a sudden, we're caught in a toilet bowl flush that we might not get out of. You're counting on me to do my job in my workplace, in my role, when we're up to our neck in alligators and I just got unfriended on Facebook. By the way, I just did that. Apparently you can hit unfollow, you don't have to hit unfriend. That was a little late information. Connections. Moral. What's your definition of right or wrong? What's your out of bounds markers? Are things wrong only if we get caught? And one of the problems that happens around this moral discussion is it's not me telling you what is right or wrong. It is me saying, this is right or this is wrong for me. Deal with it. You can do anything you want to my wife. But you lie to her? Oh, what is that? Hell hath no fury? Like, she just goes green. What's your out of bounds markers? Guess what this shows up as, folks? Core values posted on some website somewhere, but everybody knows what we really operate by. Those organizations tend not to be resilient when it's hitting the fan. Also, relational. When we are dealing with people, how many of you, no names, how many of you, when you see that name on your phone or extension, you have the biological reflex that says, them. Okay, if you want to hear dark humor, hang out with a funeral home director. The way I teach this is all a guy needs is 6 close personal friends. Pallbearers, for those of you who don't understand that. If you're going cremation, you only need 1. One of the things, who are your 6 that will recharge your battery? As Canadians, we have to start learning what's called relationship management. Some people are just a black hole. Doesn't matter what goes in, nothing ever comes out of them. And if you are thinking about being resilient, and as the marathoners say, if you are going to go the distance, we are going to have to find a way to address those people. And do it nicely. As a Canadian, you can even say, sorry. But folks, think about your own workplace. Because those people tend to catch us when our battery is run down, which often means we're the only ones going home wound up. Because they do. It's called sandbagging. They catch us at the 11th hour. They got it off their chest. So, the how. What I want to do is walk you through, and what you have in front of you